earlier in the show, Luke was saying it's done. Trump is going to win. And that only matters if one concept holds true, and that is what Frank Luntz said. The Trump supporter has become the Trump voter. That gives Trump a 1 to 2 point boost across the board. That means PA goes red. We have not yet seen the polls come out that have tracked post-assassination news coverage. Morning Consult is the latest poll, which is the 12th to the 14th. That means the day of, most people still didn't know. We are waiting to see the results. That being said, the prediction market shows a massive spike, a 10-point spike for Donald Trump in the betting markets. If Donald Trump saw that in the polls, anywhere near that, we're talking like 320 electoral votes.
Did you see the poll for, I know, but 538, they actually showed Biden up since the attempt. Their latest poll, they put it out this morning.
Which one?
538.
538. Well, I don't know that 538 has polls. They analyze other polls.
I quote tweeted it if it's on my Twitter. Maybe they might have just been talking about the polls.
The issue with these polls is that we're not yet to the point where the assassination news has percolated to that point. Even on the day, people didn't know. Even a day after, people were only just finding out. And so a lot of these polls, when their dates and when they're being conducted, aren't getting to the bulk of the news cycle, which is going to be about Wednesday. Tuesday is when most companies like doing press conferences and product releases, because the news doesn't hit 100% on Tuesday. Monday is a dead zone. You don't do news on Monday. Tuesday's the best day because the news hits on Tuesday, peaks on Wednesday, and drops on Thursday. You release it on Wednesday and you're going straight down. Thursday is a dead zone. Friday is the worst. Saturday is literally the worst. Those are all for traffic. So what we're really looking for is polls that are going to be in the range of probably starting Wednesday and going into next week. That's when this Friday is when the news hits its peak. So Wednesday, we're going to see the bulk of all the assassination news. It's going to start to fade out and how people respond to it. So far, what we're seeing is Trump is up 1 or 2 points. We have 3W Insights with Trump up 4 points. You've got Big Village with Trump against Harris up 7. Though, like if Biden is out of the race, it's just apocalyptic. Trump against Biden up 4. I believe that once the dust settles on this news, Trump is going to be up about 3 to 4 points. He's up 2 right now. So that's basically, I agree with Frank Luntz.
Do you think there's any chance there's sort of a second wave of blue voters who become activated over this? Like the polls scare them into saying, oh no, we got to back Biden.
No way.
The problem is their narrative before the assassination attempt was that, and it was gaining traction, I think, definitely among independents, probably among likely Democrat voters, was that Biden was actually not capable. I mean, Democrats were losing confidence in their own candidate before anything happened to Trump to sort of surge this extra sort of patriotic support in his favor. The narrative that has dropped off, or at least we're not seeing a ton in the news cycle right now, is are they going to poll Joe Biden? Joe
Biden is a big winner in all this. Nobody's talking about his cognitive decline. Nobody's talking about, But
if the polls remain high for Trump as we get closer, I mean, we're 4 or 6 weeks away from the DNC. There is a chance that just resurges and it's even worse because they're like, look, Trump is way ahead now. We really have to pull Biden.
And there's a debate in September that's ominous right now. That if they have to do another debate, they're going to have to shift the time to 8 a.m. in the morning or something like that.
I'm glad you brought up the debate because I was thinking about the fact that before the debate, and we all would have expected this, Trump and Biden didn't shake hands. There's no sort of cordial moment that we've seen between presidential candidates in the past. No, it's not that it's bad, but now that we're supposed to be, per Joe Biden's recommendation, turning down the political rhetoric, is he at that debate stage going to extend his hand to Trump? Because that's what he would need to do if he was really a man of trying to de-escalate any sort of tension in the country. But he's not going to do it.
Come on,
so then he's going to look hypocritical, I think.
Yeah, I think there's bigger things ahead of us. I think the establishment was desperate. We described them as a cornered animal a few weeks ago, that they were going to lash out. I think Saturday was their lashing out moment. They weren't successful. I think down the pipeline, there's going to be bigger, crazier things ahead of us in this election cycle that will totally change the trajectory of what we're expecting to happen. This is just the beginning. They failed. They're more desperate. They're going to lash out more. So there's going to be a lot of craziness that people should strap in for, because this is only the beginning of an extremely wild ride. And there's forces out there, forces of evil, that will try to do everything in their power to try to prevent Donald Trump, especially now, especially with the vengeance aspect, especially especially with him almost losing his life right now, especially with him having 5-hour-long conversations with RFK Jr. right now, talking about the larger conspiracies of everything. All bets are off. The game's about to be flipped over.
What was this podcast with Yuval Noah Harari? Did you see that?
Yes, there's a couple of them.
He said something like Trump is the end of the global machine, or what?
The global order.
Yeah.
And again, he does symbolize that, and a lot of very powerful people understand that there's going to be a larger reckoning. If you look at JFK, when he threatened to, of course, end the war in Vietnam, what kind of happened to him? Donald Trump is threatening to end the wars. This is a major affront to the military-industrial complex, to a lot of organizations, to a lot of groups that don't only care about the money here, Jeremy. This is way beyond money. This is far more deeper and spiritual than a lot of people even understand it to be, because this is essentially a death cult. These are people that do blood sacrifices. These are people that ritualistically start wars on specific dates for specific reasons and continue them, even though they know that they're not going to win them, in order to continue the larger pain and suffering of humanity. So what we're dealing here with is not a usual political cycle. This is not going to go down like you guys think it's going to go down. It's going to be way more chaotic, way more crazy, and that's why I'm telling everyone, you got to become the best, strongest version of yourself. You got to call out the violence. You got to call out the insane people in our society. You got to be paying attention to every little detail and aspect of what's going around you, because what's going to happen is going to be vast, it's going to be huge, and it's going to happen, and it's going to shock people. That's not an understatement.
We had Eric Prince on the Culture War podcast, and I asked him, subscribe to Tenant Media, by the way, because we're doing that show Friday morning. But I asked him if, in all of experience with these countries that are destabilizing and the people he's worked with, are they seeing similarities here, and what could we expect? He said the one thing that they all agree on is that it happens overnight. Everything seems normal, and then you go to bed and you wake up, there's no electricity, water doesn't turn on, there's no internet, garbage stops getting picked up, and you have no idea what's happening. Communications are gone. TV doesn't turn on. And that's the scary reality, that it's gradually, then suddenly, everybody just thinks every day they're going to wake up and things are going to be normal. It's fascinating to me because you hear that meme where it's like, touch grass, touch grass. The fascinating thing is, this world nearly collapsed into abject chaos and destruction on Saturday, July 13th, 2024. And there's this really funny post from this dude, Jules, and he said he was at a local community garden when this happened, so he had no idea. And that just goes to show you, don't go touch grass, never log off ever, not even a second. Yeah. But the truth is, imagine if you were out gardening, doing normal things, not paying attention, and this tragedy actually took it turned for the worst in the ways we most fear. You would have no idea. You'd be blindsided by the economic repercussions. I believe that if on that day Donald Trump lost his life, the stock market would drop a ridiculous number. I don't know what, 30%, some insane number. Investors, foreign investors especially, would panic and sell everything they could to exit the market due to fear of uncertainty. With no clear frontrunner, with Joe Biden's brain being fried, and no Donald Trump, there is no one to accept the reins of this country. And we are lucky that it didn't happen. If that economic hit happened, people's banks may suspend withdrawals. There could be runs on banks. You would see international conflict immediately due to the economic instability of the global markets caused by the United States. And you would be in your garden. You would be tending to your tomato plants. And then when it all came down, you'd go, how come all this food's gone from the store? Well, you were late to the party, man. Now you get to go fight in the Walmart parking lot for the last can of beans with Agnes because y'all weren't paying attention.
But you got tomatoes.
But don't worry, they'll come and take them from you. Yeah. So I'm not saying plug in, never leave. That's the joke. I'm just saying to all the people who are acting like you shouldn't pay attention to what's going on in the world, you shouldn't be politically active or be involved. You don't have to be. Ignorance is pure bliss. And you can go live that normal life and forget all about it. And then one day when you can't buy gas, there's no more food at the store, and you're shrugging your shoulders, you will be the last one to eat, and you will wonder how it could have happened. It's the challenge of life. Ignorance is bliss. By all means, live and bask in the fruits of the labors of men and women in uniform, our law enforcement, our first responders. But one day, don't expect it to be permanent, because that's a luxury.
Yeah, there's no going back from this. People need to understand this is not going to be a normal political cycle. They're talking about swing states, and none of that matters. To me, this has really been a major Pearl Harbor-like event that is truly going to be playing out for the next, not few days, not few months, for the next few years. Donald Trump, who, again, is seen as a very big anti-establishment figure, now, from the people who tried to kill him, see him as even a larger threat. And they would be silly not to consider him a larger threat because of the larger consequences. Because when someone tries to take your life and is a centimeter away from doing so, and you understand the message that they're sending to you, you understand how serious this is all is right now. And truly, the next few months are going to be insane.
Thanks for checking out this clip from Timcast IRL. Make sure to watch the show live Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. Subscribe to this channel, and we will see you all there.